On today's episode of Still Up Sports, we're recapping UFC 329. We're going into Jonathan Cooper, guys. And who is Pat Surtain's superhero comp? All that and more. 60 seconds, guys. See you soon. Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 17 of Still Up Sports. You know, we normally talk late night sports talk Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 1:30 a.m. Mountain Time. I'm your host, Cody Chapa. Thank you for joining me. You know, this is an off week. We're going Tuesday, Thursday this week due to the fact that we're getting back into 24-hour streams for the next 2 weeks, at least until training camp, guys. We're on this real push to really chase 500 subs, guys. If we hit 500 subs, I'm going skydiving. So help me go skydiving, guys. If you're here with me, thank you so much for popping in. You know, here at Late Night Sports, here at Still Up Sports, guys. Again, we're just trying to normalize late night sports talk. We do that by streaming every night and trying to be here as much as we can, trying to normalize this. You know, it only becomes a thing if we normalize it. So I just want to thank you guys for all being here. Thank you, everyone, for supporting. You know, you guys are awesome. I was just on Broncos Bros just a few hours ago, guys, on Orange and Blue Network with Dak and with George, with Tim, you know, Tim Dog. You know, we had Shy, you know, Shy Varga. You know, we had some amazing conversations on there on Orange and Blue. You know, that was my first time stepping aside from here and not having to produce a show. I got to be on someone's show and not have to produce it. That's amazing. That's the best part of going on other people's shows already. So I hope I can do that more. Those guys all know they're welcome on here. My platform is open to so many people and so many of you guys. This is something that's more yours than mine, guys. And as we, you know, go through this journey together, you know, me personally and you guys together, it's awesome. Hey, where you at, goons? What's up, Trevor? Trevor Mason, how you doing, man? You know, yep, you see me rocking that Greek Goonsville. My guy Petros hooked me up, man. It's, you know, he's so awesome, such a great guy. You know, while you're here, guys, let's just pop over here. You see right here, guys, we are sitting at 107 on YouTube. If you're not subscribed, subscribe on YouTube. You know, we normally go live Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It's just with these next 2 weeks, we're doing 24-hour streams on the weekends. So we're only doing 2 streams during the weekdays as we, you know, get our rest and prepare for those 24-hour streams. A lot goes into making a 24-hour stream work in terms of sleep, preparation, and proper breaks and stretching and stuff like that, and staying awake. So we're going to be doing more 24-hour streams. We're chasing 500, but hopefully during. I want to have it by the end of the season, guys. I would love to hit 500 by the end of the season, guys, because that means once we hit 500 and then we reach our you know, our requirements when it comes to our views and such, that YouTube's very picky on, these 24-hour streams that we are very passionate about and love will all be for charity. All those things will be for charity. Once we ever get monetized, those long 24-hour format streams, all for charity. And that's just because I'm inspired by the work that like Tom Grossi has done. Perna's raised some money for charity too. So I look up to those guys. Those guys are awesome. 500 by game 1 would be amazing. That's why I'm going to keep going with these 24-hour streams and seeing what I can do. I'm going to really bug a bunch of people this week, and hopefully I don't annoy any people in Broncos media, but I'm going to really be sending out a few messages, maybe a few tweets, a few DMs, and I'm going to drum up some good guests. So if there's a guest you want me to go after, you let me know, and I will immediately use you as an excuse and say my subscriber wants me to have you on. So please be my excuse, and let me know who you want me to try to get on, who you in Broncos media, sports media. I will do the DM. I will tweet. I'll do whatever it takes. Whether they see it or not, that's another thing. But we will do what we can to get some of the best guests and stuff on here. This show normally goes for 2 hours when it's just me. Eventually, we're going to have guests on these shows, guys, and these shows will go for so much longer when we have guests on the show. And then when we air our original content on the streams as well, we're going to pre-record monologues in the future, which will take 5-10 minutes in the beginning. That's going to be me opening with a more professional manner, standing up and being much closer to the screen, having a nice little full-on, like Jimmy Kimmel, full-on Conan O'Brien, Stephen Colbert type, monologue to welcome you into here as we make some, we crack some ha-has, make some jokes about the NFL and stuff going on in the league. It's going to be fun, guys. We're a small little show right now. I'm currently learning so much when it comes to producing and growing and trying to make this show the best that I can. We've only been streaming for like a month or two, guys. I started this channel back in December, but we've only been streaming for about a month or two. So when you look over here at our progress, guys, you see this lifetime progress right here, going back to like June-ish, it's like sometime in May, I think, May, June, July-ish. So we've only been streaming for a few months. And because most of the year we were just building out the platforms, buying our equipment, saving up to build this studio that is something that I'm going to grow into. This studio is much more professional than I deserve. So I'm going to really grow into it, and we're going to grow together, guys, from the technology to the content. I'm going to Denver at the end of the year, and we're going to film some crazy content. I already know we're going to do some crazy stuff, find some cool people to interview, but we're going to try to get some serious guests on these 24-hour streams. We got a 24-hour stream this weekend. We got a 24-hour stream the following weekend, guys. So because of that, I think that we can really snag some big guests and just see, who's interested in helping us, normalize late night sports talk. Besides that, I would hope to get more guests live on air at night. I know it's hard to do that sometimes, but maybe that's the challenge with having a show like this is we push these, these people, these players, these media personalities, we challenge them to stay up at least one night to come on the show and see if they can handle it and prove if they are still up, So, maybe that's our goal, and we're going to really challenge these people, and we're going to send some DMs. We're going to really make sure we can land some guests on these 24-hour streams coming up. Yes, absolutely. Petros is a guest. That would be great. Petros is a busy man, but we'll try to snag him if we can. He knows that he's welcome at all times. I'm going to make sure that I would love to hit 500 by game one. That would be like this. Oh, hold on. I knew I did something wrong, guys. Here you go. See, I knew I didn't have one of my audio things dealt with. One of these stupid little dials over here. But yeah, guys, we're at 107 on YouTube. Please go subscribe on YouTube. Come join, the Still Up Nation. We're just trying to normalize late night sports talk. We talk Broncos. We talk UFC. We talk whatever big sport is out there. Just because our colors are blue and orange, there's a reason why we are called Still Up Sports, guys. We talk all sports. So please feel free to subscribe. Come and pop in on any platform. We are on X, guys. So come pop in on X. Come pop in on YouTube, guys. Instagram, TikTok. So we got you on all these, guys. Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff. Come pop in. It would really help if you come join us and see what we can get up to in the future, guys. And yes, while we're here, because of I see you, man. I see you. Where you at, Goons? Here you are right here. You see me rocking the Goonsville Greek shirt right now. Go check out Goonsville, guys. Goonsville is awesome. Petros works his butt off. Goonsville is changing the game. You never know what to expect with Goonsville. They're always up to something, always cooking something new, like a little mad scientist that just loves clothing, man. This guy is killing it. And anytime I can support Petros and Goonsville, I do what I can. Goonsville, seeing that inspiration and that drive to keep the Ville going and growing it and getting as many goons involved it's amazing. So, I just love seeing what Petros has done at Goonsville. It's an inspiration to me every day with Still Up. But also, guys, it's just an amazing clothing brand. If you want to look clean and go look awesome, it's fully embroidered. Go check out that embroidery. Go check out Still Up Sports, because, here at Still Up Sports, we're always rocking it. And, when you're watching Still Up Sports, you're going to see Goonsville almost on every single stream. Goonsville is on every stream, whether he is popping up here in the chat or whether, I'm rocking the Ville right here. Again, Petros, I appreciate you helping me out here. You have Trevor in the chat. Trevor's awesome. Again, Trevor said, maybe we hit 500 by week 1. That would be awesome. That would be the goal, is to hit 500 by week 1. Yep. The OG Goon himself showed up. Right on, Petros. Yeah, no, Petros, you really took care of me, bro. Happy birthday, guys. Happy birthdays in the chat to Petros, because he hasn't been in here in the chat since his birthday. So, say happy birthday to Petros in the chat. Just another year on this earth, man. I'm happy to rock the Greek shirt right now, of course. Happy to show off the Ville right now. There's you and Devin right there. Look at all this stuff, guys. Chris, congratulations on his retirement. Congratulations. Amazing, fighter, amazing BKFC champion. Congratulations on that. Yeah, guys. And again, go check out Goonsville. Just got this hat. I love it. My hair's still looking pretty good. I haven't had to go get a haircut. So at times I'm trying not to rock the hats because I'm still trying to enjoy the hair while it's going, but I'll go get a haircut. Yeah, much love for you, man. We appreciate you, man. Goonsville, I appreciate you popping in. I appreciate all that you're doing, man. You're not going to have to teach me the dance. I'm going to have it memorized before you show up, or before I show up. I'll have the dance memorized, bro. I'll come prepared this time, so don't worry. Yep, there you go. Say it in the chat, guys. Happy birthday to Petros. Absolutely. Yeah, see, Petros, you really took care of me on the shirts, because that I'm struggling out here in this heat, bro. So I made sure that those videos that I sent you, I got one more to send you, but those are all yours. The still shots, those are yours too. I wanted to give you something for your birthday that maybe you could use for the company or the marketing. If you want me to do a few more of them with different styles of edits, I can do that too, bro. But I gave you the still shots in case you wanted to edit it as well. So, you can always edit it yourself. You can always add the music yourself, but that's all for you. It's a birthday gift that you can use for the company, bro. Absolutely, dude. The Ginger Pentazzoli, bro, just wait, because I did hurdles. I can get my leg up already. I can get my leg up above my head just stretching when I'm doing, stretches and shit, so I can get my leg up there. Just wait for me to actually, whip out a kick. So just wait. It's going to be fun. I'm going to be prepared. Absolutely. Happy for you guys popping in here. If you guys didn't see, I was on Orange and Blue Network. I made my first appearance off Still Up Sports. Yeah, guys, here, go check out Goonsville. Right here. Again, so many great patterns, waves out there. And again, you never know who's going to be rocking the Ville, guys. We're going to pop over here real quick again. We're at 107. If you're not subscribed, subscribe, guys, because we're going to normalize late night sports talk and get in on it while it's early. Absolutely, guys. All right. I'm an athlete. I got lazy, man. A lot of people, when they get out of high school, the biggest thing is with high school is it trains you to want to exercise or forces you to exercise. And then when you get out of school and you just work and bills and work, sometimes that's all you got time for. And, as of recently, I've been going on runs after these streams or late at night, because that's the only time I can do it in this heat. But, I've been loving your cousin's electrolytes, bro. They're great. I really fuck with them. They're great. Hey, I try. Yeah, the Ginger Pentazzoli is going to go crazy. Just wait. Yeah. No. That man can kick my head off before I can get a hand on him. Bro, I took like 3 wrestling classes, or at least practices, and then I gave up because I thought, because I was a track athlete and I did distance and hurdles and all that, I thought that was going to help me. And then, wrestling's completely different. And then later on in life, maybe like 3 or 4 years ago, I was going to a few jiu-jitsu classes, and then the guy that I would train with, he moved to West Virginia, and then like his gym closed down, and then I went to another gym, and it just didn't feel like welcoming. so I haven't really been back. But I would love to get back into grappling. I love grappling. That's like when it comes to like I love combat sports. That's my other love, but besides the Broncos guys. But grappling, I think it's so beautiful. It's such an art. That's why I was like tweaking over that Patty Pimlet, submission guys, is because it was so beautiful. He went from guillotine to Dars to like anaconda, with throwing up the legs like a Peruvian. It was so beautiful. It's truly a gem. It's beautiful. I ain't kicking any of you guys' ass, man. I'm giving you guys hugs. I'm a big Care Bear. I'm a big sweet guy. But no, I appreciate you guys. Hey, you go get some rest, man. I appreciate you, man. Yeah. The best part about this is it's always there when you wake up. So, I appreciate you popping in, Trevor. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. If you are, I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for popping in. Goons got goons, man. Absolutely. Everyone for Trevor. Absolutely. No, if anything, just no one wants to come across these goons, man. No one wants to fuck with these goons. Absolutely. Hey, if you guys pop out to Vegas, that's the perfect time to use those clips, bro, to tease when you guys come out, bro. And then if we need to go set up somewhere, you got me, got Trevor. We'll go set up wherever we need to. We'll do what we got to do. Besides that, if you need to, do anything, I got you. I'll help you out with whatever I can. But yeah, Trevor, I would love to have you out here, man. Same with you, Petros. You have a great night, man. Opa. Yeah, guys. So we were on Orange and Blue Network earlier. So we made our first appearance on Orange and Blue Network. Yeah. Absolutely. Avoid some of this 110-degree heat right now, 110. See, I can handle 95, 98. I can handle that. But when it's like 105, 110, 115, it's different. It's completely different, even as a local. Hey, you just might have to come out in September. Just bring some shirts. Just bring some shirts. It still may be hot. It still might be hot. We'll see. Yeah, man. But I was on Orange and Blue Network, guys. I made my first appearance off the channel. I didn't have to produce a thing, which was awesome. But I was on there with Dak. I was on there with George and Tim Dog, from the Mile High Outcast. Bronco. Do you even Broncos Bro? I was on Broncos Bros. They had Shy Vargas, on there. I'm gonna have to go give him some love on TikTok. Awesome guy. It was a fun vibe. I loved it. Yeah, the heat is brutal here. It is crazy. What you up to today, Petros? How you been? I just want to know how you been, man. Yeah, the collab was awesome, bro. My first collab, the first of many. When I come out to Denver, I'm gonna be, busting my butt trying to, get collabs with all kinds of people out there. Again, my goal is, I've already made any of these people in the media. They are now my peers, whether they like it or not. They're my peers. I made them my peers because I chose to step in and fill the void in the late night. So they are my peers, and they've all been, every single person has been nothing but kind and supportive. When I thought about this channel in December, there's so many Broncos channels. You could look it up on YouTube, and there's so many Broncos channels, and it looks competitive on the outside in. But like 99.5% of these guys, they literally, are not competitive whatsoever. They're helpful. They've been holding my hand through some of this stuff and walking me through some of this stuff. So it's been amazing. So yeah, the collab was awesome. Yeah, that's awesome, man. I'm glad you had I'm glad you had a good weekend. I hope you had a good time hanging out with Ty. That looked fun. The birthday bash, sucks for the Connor fight, but besides that, that looked like a blast, bro. Yeah, no, it was a fun show with Dak and them. We're going to be doing more stuff, but yeah, when we get into Denver, bro, I'm going to be hunting interviews or hunting, guests and stuff. My thing is I'll be limited on like internet. where I'm at, because like I'll bring my laptop, I'll bring my mini mics, I'll bring my webcam, I'll do what I can, but like I'm gonna, hopefully my internet isn't too bad at the hotel, or hopefully wherever I go there's some good internet I can use, because that's my only way if I want to put live content out right away. If not, it's going to just be recorded all while I'm out there, and then just post it after. But I would love to do some live stuff. But Noah Petros, what I was going to say is, I want to go on a hike when I'm out there in Denver, bro. And we should totally get, some goons together for a hike in Denver in November. Wherever is easiest for you guys, man. I'm not from there, of course, but I would love to get a hike together. I've been dying to go on a Colorado hike, bro. We get the goons together. We all throw on our shirts, throw on our beanies, go get in a great hike. That'd be a vibe, bro. The Goonsville Hiking Club or something. Absolutely, bro. I would be down for that, bro. Think about the vibes and the pictures, bro. Again, all it takes is holding that beautiful hat. Every single hat is beautiful. So all you got to do is hold those hats up and with the right place, do some things, with some editing, do some stuff with, some, filters or some graphics and stuff. And then, you just got, it's just, those were some fun videos. I hope you like them. If you want more, I can do some more too. I'll make you a few more with, different styles of editing, but I want you to have those so you can use them your way, use them for the channel, or not the channel, but, for content. Do what you got to do. I trust you to do what you got to do, of course. That's why I just didn't send them with music. I only posted the 2 that I did, but I got another one with another background besides that, the ones that I have. So there's 3 of them with 3 different backgrounds, but besides that, I can get that done for you if you want. Yeah, guys. So Orange and Blue, awesome. Again, thank you, Dak. Thank you, Tim. Thank you, George. Thank you, Shai, for having me, hang out there, talk with you guys, risers and fallers in the NFL. That was awesome. Guys, we're going to talk UFC 329. It was very tough for Conor McGregor. Great fight card the whole time. It was a great fight card. Let me pull this up. It was a great fight card. Very disappointing for Conor. Absolutely. That was so awesome. It's crazy because so many people have played a factor in this channel, whether it's the fact that, I take inspiration from Petros every day from seeing that drive. I take inspiration from Zach, and, Zach was the only person I asked, Zach Stevens from DMVR. He was the only person I asked about, like, how should I, treat the camera, or how should I, what should I do with, in this situation with the camera and, talking and stuff. Mike Carmelini from Mile High Monsters, he was my first guest on the 24-hour stream. That was amazing. And then, for Dak and, George and Tim, have me on Broncos Bros on Orange and Blue as my first time as a guest on someone else's show. Dude, this stuff is changing. It's starting to feel really real, man. Normalizing late night sports talk is starting to feel more real. I feel like we're getting closer and closer to being taken seriously, guys. That's why I was hunting for like an interview down there on the strip with a UFC fighter, with an NFL player, because I just want us to get taken seriously with a big interview or a big guest. And that's the best part of being here, at least on the strip in Vegas, is because if this stuff happens, I can go down there with the camera and the mics and hunt this stuff. Even though we were unsuccessful last time, does not mean we'll be unsuccessful, this next time coming up. So, we will keep at it for sure. And I'm really hoping that we can keep pushing this stuff, guys. Yeah, man, I'm keeping it up, man. If I hit 500, I'm going skydiving. I hope I can, honestly, bro, I just want to go skydiving in general, but I wanted to have a reason behind it, bro. Yeah, man, we'll hit on the strip, and then we'll go down to like Fremont Street too, bro. We'll go hit Main Street too, bro. There's so many cool places to hit in Vegas. On top of the Stratosphere, Pentazoli on top of the Stratosphere. At night, that's the time to go up there. Is right before sunset, and then at night, because then you get the Vegas lights in the background. That's the place to maybe do the Pentazoli. There's everywhere, bro. Bring Trevor, bring Pops. We'll go check it out, bro. I would love to personally, go hang out, spend some time at the Mob Museum, bro. The Mob Museum would just be fun, just for go get drinks and laid back. I'm a big, I can hang out in Vegas and go out and explore, But in no way am I a big like strip fan, because I know how expensive everything is and how like they're taking advantage of people. It's still great to visit the strip, and there's so many good things about it still. So don't let that deter you. But we'll hit all the amazing iconic spots on the strip and downtown. But then I say, trust me, and let's say, let me help you find a spot or two else. Another spot or two for some good picks and stuff, bro. Like the Arts District, that's where you should check out, is the Arts District here. The Arts District's pretty cool. Like the Main Street area. There's some cool stuff down there. There's some places off strip too. There's some cool places around town. And again, maybe we hit a Broncos bar or something. But yeah, man. Guys, so we're going to be getting into UFC 329 right now. Let me pull it up right here. Fremont Street, definitely. The Arts District, yep. See, she knows. She knows, Petros. She definitely knows. Yep, Jake's Bronco Bar. That's what I was telling the boys on Orange and Blue. That's where we got to go check out. Yeah, guys. So we are over here. So we did predict our fights, guys. We were right about Luke Riley. Yeah, man. And there's so many cool stuff. This cat just wants to be a pain in my butt. Come on, buddy. Man, this cat does not know when to stop. He wants in, he wants out. Yeah, besides like the Greek festival, bro. Yeah, Connor, that's just so frustrating. So, I was going to start from prelims up, but not early prelims, because one, we didn't catch the early prelims, and I knew we weren't going to catch it. So that's one reason why I didn't cover it. But also, I only know so many of these guys. I'm trying to get like fully immerse myself back into it, just like I was with like the Broncos. Everything is like nonstop sports now. So at times when I'm sitting here, it's just highlights of UFC fighters, or it's highlights of Broncos players and stuff. So it's like, even when I'm trying to relax, there's still something happening in the background now. So I'm always studying and stuff. But yeah, we did not do the early prelims. We did our guesses, and we ended up being 6-. I think we were like 6-2 or something. Let me see. Let me check our predictions. All right, yeah. So we were right on Luke Riley. We were right on Adrian Yanez. We were right with Gable Stevenson. We lost because we took Krylov over Whitaker, guys, and I totally forgot that Whitaker was making the move up to light heavyweight. That one was on me. I should have remembered that he was making the move up from middleweight to light heavyweight. I totally didn't pay attention to that, and he looked great. So I took Krylov in that, and I lost. So at that point, we became 3-1 in our predictions. But this whole card was banger. It was a banger card, just like the other card. Absolutely. Shout out Brandon. Brandon Royval putting out. Absolutely. Denver's own. Yeah, we're gonna get there right now. We're gonna get there right now, because then we also had Bobby Green over Terrence McKinney, and it looked rough for Bobby, guys. It looked really rough for Bobby in that first that first round. It was getting bad. He was getting pieced up by Terrence, and then the one reason why I took Bobby, guys, even though there was like a 7-8 year age difference, something like that. It was like a 7-8 year age difference, and the reason why I took Bobby was because of the fact that Bobby's been through it. He's been punched in the face so many times. Like, that man has been almost choked out within a life. Patty did choke him out this last year. That's why I wasn't surprised by Patty's choke, because Patty is a monster on the ground. No one wants, you're an idiot to go to the ground with him. And you got Patty saying that he'll take anyone. He says that he'll choke out or he'll submit Oliveira. People saying that Oliveira doesn't get choked out or submitted, but then they forget about the Makhachev fight, and Makhachev made it happen. I understand that Oliveira is like a BJJ, black belt world champ, guys, but Makhachev made it happen, and that just means it's not like it's impossible. There's a reason why some guys, when it comes to collegiate wrestling, or these guys that with Olympic wrestling or stuff, some of them may have records of like 102 or like 103. That's because someone gets it over on them. You can't just win everything. No matter what you do in sports, you're going to lose at one point. And if you never lose, that sets you up to lose eventually. That like what we saw, guys, with the Loner Kavanaugh. And I chose Loner Kavanaugh over Brandon. I love Brandon. I love Brandon Royval. The heart. Stud, total Denver native, bro. Denver foo. He's a foo for sure. The dude's a legend, and he's a legend to that community in Denver. And I was so pumped for him to get the win, but I was taking Loner Kavanaugh just because of the fact that Kavanaugh was, that 10-2 is only because the fact that Royval pulled it off. It was 10-1. Loner Kavanaugh was this like hot upcoming prospect, guys, and I was really, in my opinion, I was worried because I was like, that's going to be a tough fight for Royval, because I knew that he was going to have to face some adversity if he's going to win. And what did Royval literally say when Joe Rogan said, you had to face some adversity there? Royval said, yeah, I'm the king, the king of mayhem or mischief or something. He knew it wasn't going to be pretty. That's the thing with Royval. But Royval's got that dog in him, just like Bobby Green. This is my point, is these guys, these vets, it doesn't matter. Like Terrence McKinney and Loner Kavanaugh right here, guys, very similar in the fact that they're very young, and they're very, dangerous. McKinney may have had more losses, but still, there was a period, and McKinney's taken a few losses these last few years, but just a few years ago, McKinney had take a few of these L's off, and he had, a pretty scary record. Now, it's almost like a split record right there at 18-9. But what I'm trying to say is just a few years back, it was like 16 and like 4 or like 18 and like 4 or 5. My point is it wasn't as bad of a record. So he was terrifying, and he still is, because McKinney is still like second in the UFC for like most like first round finishes. He gets guys out in the first round, and he pieced up Bobby, and Bobby withered the storm because he's a vet and can put up with it and can take the damage and stick it through in the later rounds, just like Royval did. Royval, he had to face the adversity. There were some moments in there where it did not look good for him, but he came around and won round 3 too. So that's how we knew that like he was going to win. And then, either way, he was going to win round 3, and it was going to go to decision. What I'm trying to say is he was going to win a decision if it went to decision, because he won round 1, he lost round 2, and then, he definitely was winning round 3. Instead, he got it done with submission. So, that's just the dog in him. Let's see. At that point, guys, we were, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so we were 4-2 at that point, guys. And then let's see. So then we had Corey Sandhagen and Mario Batista. I picked Sandhagen, and we lost. I just thought it was Sandhagen. I thought Sandhagen was primed for a big win, but it happened. And that was our only decision fight of the night, guys. Everything else was TKOs or submissions, at least on that main card. Same with like that prelim. The prelim and main card, all of it was finishes except for that Sandhagen Batista fight. But Batista showed that he's deserving to be 18-3. That man's deserving of that record. So not surprising there. I was wrong on that one. So then we moved to, what was that? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, yeah. So now we're at 4-2. Yeah, so we're at 4-2. The next unit gets no Corey saying 5. No, that was 5-3. Yeah, so that was 4-3. Yeah, no, that was 4-3. Okay, so we're at 4-3 on our predictions, and then next when you get to Paddy Pimblett and Saint Denis. Paddy was the underdog, guys. There was a lot of fear. This guy, former. By the way, no one knows this or thinks about it, but Denis was like former French special forces. No one thinks about like that's a former special forces soldier. Sometimes that doesn't help you when it can be the fat English bastard at times. I mean, people seen Paddy balloon up with these weight cuts. That's my thing. I shared a short earlier about it too, because people don't understand these weight cuts and what they do to these athletes. They're on like near death, and then they just agree to make weight and then fight a day or two later. It's crazy. But Saint Denis was the more dangerous fighter, the God of War, as they like to call him. He had no problem going for just running right in there looking for. Paddy hit him with like 2 oblique kicks. That's all it take was like 2 oblique kicks, and then he just rushes in, and then Patty just catches him in the guillotine. And Patty was saying that he knew he was going to work something off of like the guillotine or something. And he went guillotine to Darce to whatever that, Rolly Anaconda kind of thing was. Patty's calling it like, the pad thai, or, you got the padlock, whatever you want to call it. It was amazing submissions. In my opinion, submission of the year. And, Royval and, Kavanaugh was my performance of the night. They gave, they were my fight of the night. Stevenson, Stevenson going back to, he had gotten performance of the night as well, which is very deserving. And then same with Patty. Patty got performance of the night because that was just insane. Less than a minute to take on one of the scariest, the scariest guys in the lightweight division. It's terrifying. Go back and watch. Let's pull him up right here. Look at this record before Patty. He beat Dan Hooker. Oh man, come on! Is it going to show? Okay, yeah, here. So he beat Dan Hooker. All right, he beat Dariush. I remember that Beneil Dariush win. It was crazy because Dariush is, and when it comes to like the lightweight, like jiu-jitsu guys in that division, you got like Dariush and Oliveira, and some of the most beautiful, jiu-jitsu in that division. And he blew through these guys. He submitted Ruffy, Ruffy was your backup fighter. People forget this was your backup fighter for Conor McGregor and Max Holloway was Ruffy. So he was there in attendance and he made weight the day before. Even though I think what they should have done when Conor went down is Patty should have ran right back out and they should have just ran Patty and Holloway. That would have just been perfect. Because Patty barely took any damage. Holloway took barely. Just get at it. But I get it. You can't do that. This isn't like the UFC when they first started. When the UFC first started, guys, go back and watch the rules and go watch UFC 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever. Go watch the first few UFCs, guys. It was tournament style. And so you win a fight and you keep going you keep going. But this isn't like, certain combat sports where tournaments where, there's some more protection or there's gear and stuff. That was like the UFC where you had guys showing up in gis. You had guys showing up just in boxing shorts. You had guys showing up in wrestling outfits. You got everything. And there was nothing but like vicious elbows, groin shots, eye gouging, headbutts. Mark Coleman, the king of the ground and pound, the originator of the American, ground and pound, All I'm saying, guys, is, the knee was terrifying. Look at this run that he was on. He was on a great run. He had been on a great run. Let's go back to 2024. Okay, so that's when he took a loss. That was his last loss, and then to Dustin Poirier. But again, that's going back a few years, guys. We're talking 2025 and 2026. That's a man that. And then let's stack these wins first. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. So he was coming off of a 4-win, win streak, guys. Absolutely, man. Definitely fight of the night. Royval deserved fight of the night, especially again because, like I was saying, it could have went to decision, and Royval's going to win it in decision because he pulled off round 1 and round 3. Kavanaugh had a good round 2. It was a good round 2, but it was going to be a 2 round, 2 to 3 round decision for what you call it. For Royval anyway. So that was my fight of the night. And the performance of the night makes sense for it to be Stevenson. If you go back and watch that incredible TKO, it's crazy to think that, Gabriel Stevenson, guys, is being trained by John Jones, the best wrestler in the world being trained by John Jones. That's just terrifying. Man, if there's anyone, like, I love all my friends and, I like to think that I'm safe walking down an alley with my friends, but I would gladly switch any one of them out for John Jones if I know I'm about to get into a fight. And that's just because John Jones is if there's someone that you want to like fight an alien on Earth or like fight Sasquatch or something or like fight a bear or something, maybe besides Khabib for the bear, but you know what I mean, guys. And the most physically intimidating, imposing human on this world is still John Jones. I would also argue that Francis Ngannou is a close second. And the way the UFC has handled their stars and like with Francis Ngannou is crazy because we should have gotten the Francis Ngannou John Jones fight, even if John would have ended up choking him out like John did Cyril Gane. I think that Francis's power still at least gave more of a little bit more of an edge to Francis than Cyril had versus John Jones, because John choked Cyril out by guillotine so easily. Just standing guillotine. He choked Cyril Gane out on his feet. Yeah, guys, if you're watching right now, like, subscribe, and comment. Come join me on Still Up Sports. My name's Cody Chapa. I'm trying to normalize late night sports talk. We talk Denver Broncos. We talk UFC as we are right now. We talk whatever you guys want. We'll talk World Cup, whatever you guys want. You drop it in the chat, and Still Up Sports is here for you to talk sports and help fill the void while the traditional media outlets do not. We are your traditional and only source for Denver Broncos sports talk late at night, but especially sports talk at late at night. There's no one up at this time that's really doing it and going in the manner and in the fashion that we are. So if you want to be a part of something and, help us change something, if you're watching after the fact, go to YouTube and subscribe. You can be a part of changing something, and normalizing late night sports talk so that the fan that is up past midnight, the fan that works the graveyard shift, the trucker, the security guard, they're all taken care of with sports talk, just like you get during the daytime. If you normally are up at this time, whether, you're up at during daytime and, you like to go party or whatever, you're going home, at this time of night and you're going to get some, Taco Bell because you're drunk leaving the club. Why not throw on some sports talk and, talk about the Broncos or talk some UFC while you're drunk too, hop in. The point is we're here for every person late at night. It doesn't matter who it is. No matter your reason or your circumstance, you have a late night sports source that's here for you. So, thank you for your support, guys. Go check us out. We're on X. We're on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. We're on all the traditional platforms, guys. And then, of course, you see us rocking the Goonsville. You see it right here, guys. Let me pop this down real quick. Bam! You see the Goonsville on my journal, guys. You see that Goonsville? It's on the laptop right here. So it's right there. So you see the Goonsville. It's always with us. We're just trying to do our thing, guys, and Goonsville keeps us looking clean, keeps us looking awesome. Some of the best clothing in the game. Absolutely, much love. And yes, so guys, as we finish, we're gonna get back and continue our UFC discussion. I just was really going on to a little rant about that Paddy, Denis thing, because that's a man off of a 4-win streak. And again, that's an impressive 4-win streak when you look at what Denis done, because you had names like Beneil Dariush. You had this week's, backup emergency fighter for the main event, Marcirio Ruffy. You had him, as your, that's a man that Denis taking care of. Denis taking care of many guys, and for Paddy to make it look so easy, there's a reason why this man is 24-4. That's insane. So Paddy knows what he's doing, and I think that no one wants to go to the ground with him. There's very few people that could probably hold their own on the ground with that man, and your best bet is trying to beat him up on the ground. On the feet. But as he says, Scousers don't get knocked out. And you can go back to, let's go over here. And we go to Paddy Pimblett, because we go back to his fight with Justin Gaethje. And I don't think Justin wants to fight. I love Justin, but I don't think he wants to fight Paddy, because when he's been talking about Paddy after this fight, Paddy's even said maybe he needs to fight someone else before Justin. But we'll say this. I would love to see Paddy, if he has to fight someone before Justin, so be it. And if it has to be Ilia Topuria, that'd be a good fight. If it has to be Max Holloway, it'd be a good fight. If it has to be someone else, it would be a good fight. But I would love to see the Justin Gaethje, Paddy Pimblett fight again, because Paddy, even though it was a 3-round fight with Gaethje, I think it was a 3-round fight. No. Yeah, it was only it was a 5-round fight, guys. It was a 5-round decision. It was like I know that was for the belts, right? I think so. Sorry, guys. So many fights going through my head. So point being, though, is you saw the damage that Gaethje was able to inflict on Ilia Topuria, and Topuria literally gave up going in the round 4 or 5 because it was that bad and he couldn't see, and it was that bad. Pimblett went all 5 rounds with Gaethje taking the beating. Reminding me of like the Dustin Poirier Gaethje fight from back in the day, you know, that stuff like the Dan Hooker, Justin Gaethje fights. It reminded me of some of these crazy fights. I just think that Paddy can wither the Gaethje storm in terms of the fight. He has to come in with a better plan. And I think if you're Paddy and you do get that shot with Gaethje, maybe the plan is to finish it on the ground. Just because we know the power that Gaethje has. That power is enough to where even if you're the best kickboxer or something, that power is enough to really rattle you and sting you even when he lands. And Gaethje's got a really messy warrior type style. You got to love it. But no, guys. So, again, in my opinion, though, submission of the year, beautiful submission, things that should be truly honored and appreciated is that kind of submission. It was a good one. All right. So, great fight there. We're going to get into Conor now. Mile High Medlock. Got the same Goonsville shirt, hat, and tee. Petros got me right. Absolutely, as you should. Petros knows what he's doing. He's taking care of all of us. I'm glad that you got the same one, man. That means we're just all, goons here in this together. If you're subscribed or if you're not subscribed, I'd appreciate you, man. We're at 107, trying to hit 108 this week before we go live for 24 hours on the weekend. We're going to really DM and tweet at some guys. We're gonna see how many cool guests we can land. I'm gonna put myself out there, and we're gonna keep going. We're gonna see who we can snag to pop on our 24-hour streams as well. Petros, you're welcome on these streams. I just know you're busy, but I use a reusable studio now, so all I got to do is send you one link, and that's the link forever, or as long as it's there. So you can always pop in. I appreciate you, Mile High Madlock. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you. How are you doing tonight, man? Thank you for popping in. I hope you're having a wonderful night, wonderful morning. Guys, I didn't even do our time check, but it's currently 2:19 a.m. Mountain Time, maybe 2:20 Mountain Time. It is early morning. That's what we do here, guys, normalizing late night sports talk. And we're talking UFC right now, and we are talking McGregor Holloway. So, guys, I had Max Holloway by TKO. But I will say this, in no way did I see it going that way. I saw the videos of Conor, working out, hitting the mitts, kicking the mitts, all that, in the back room, in his locker room. He was doing it just fine. Everyone wants to say, why would Conor come out and do that? Why would Conor McGregor come out and just throw a flying roundhouse kick in his late to mid 30s? Well, you guys, if you went to the fight or if you paid for Paramount Plus, you paid for a Conor McGregor fight. You pay to see Conor McGregor come out and throw crazy wheel kicks or roundhouse kicks or spinning back kicks. You pay to see Conor McGregor throw these kicks and fight like that. You pay to see Conor McGregor be Conor McGregor. And if you've seen a Conor McGregor fight, he almost always never comes out the gate doing something boring. He always comes out with some kind of silly, ridiculous, or just dangerous looking kick. And, he's always done that. And I truly think that, there's something to this loss that feels real, genuine, no matter what, this is a freak accident. I don't know what people want to speculate all they want about maybe, as he was, getting into the cage or yada, yada. I don't believe it. Guys, you saw how he landed. If you've watched a Conor McGregor fight, if you've watched all of his fights, he starts every fight and he loves to start every round right out the gate with something crazy. It's anyone who's done a martial art or especially like a striker, Petros probably could understand, doing Taekwondo, he's got an arsenal of crazy kicks. Sometimes you probably got to just come out and do a round and just throw something, right, Petros? I'd imagine that when you do Taekwondo tournaments or something, you got to pull something out the bag, maybe at random times. And, Conor has been famous for always coming out the gate with something. He loves to come out and throw crazy kicks to start. So my discussion to you fans that want to talk about Conor McGregor shouldn't have done that, that's Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor throws kicks. Conor McGregor goes out there and he does the crazy stuff, guys. That's Conor. He loves to do that. That's just that's what you expect from a karate fighter like Conor. People forget, his background. People forget the kind of fighter he was, the kind of striker he is. He's a bouncy, striker. He just loves to get out there and throw kicks. And for if you've watched him, you know that it's not uncommon to see that. So to be upset for Conor to do that is ridiculous. That's what you get with a Conor McGregor fight. It's just literally a freak injury. And we've seen freak injuries happen in the UFC before. It is tragic. We've seen it happen. And, we go back to Chris Weidman, and his injury. Tragic. There's so many of them, guys, and it's insane. But in no way did I think like that was like, oh, Conor shouldn't have came out the gate and did that. No, Conor is a striker, and Conor loves to come out in every round and do that. Hey, Petros. He was just talking about how you got him straight, man. Hey, Petros. You were a Taekwondo fighter. You did Taekwondo tournaments, right? When you come out, like, we're talking about Conor McGregor, and Conor, he always comes out every round, every fight. He always likes to come out and throw a crazy kick, whether it's a spinning wheel kick or a roundhouse kick. He loves to throw crazy kicks to start rounds. Was that something that you saw in Taekwondo, where you'd see people like just kick? Do some crazy kicks to open up, like in tournaments or something, like, right before, like during matches or whatever, where you'd have guys that, just right out the gate in every match or something, because that's how Conor is. Conor loves to just every fight, every round, he just comes out the gate. You got some guys that just love to throw their craziest kicks to start. Yeah. And see, that's what I was definitely excited to have you, chime in on, because that's how Conor is. Yep, it's a stable. See who wants to run in the ring. Yeah, you throw that crazy kick. Conor loves to do that. So people are mad that Conor did that, and I understand that. He's a man in his, plus 30s. But he's over 35. But my point is that that's not uncommon. It literally was a freak injury, and people who pay for a Conor McGregor fight expect Conor to be crazy and throw crazy kicks. You're not paying for a Conor fight for him not to throw kicks. I was immediately disappointed by how it happened, but yeah, you got to be smart about it. Fill it out. Have you ever seen a fighter land on a leg like how Conor's done it? Or like, I'm sure you've seen stuff, whether with people training or stuff, right? You ever see that where someone like, hurt their leg, blow their knee out? I'm sure you've seen someone blow their knee out or do something like that, right? No, not really. That's good. That's good then. Well, sadly, if you're Conor McGregor, it does happen to you. That's good though. If you never, had anyone, actually, blow their legs out like that. I'm sure you maybe injuries, right, or something. Or have you seen people get knocked out, like kick, in training or something? Man, I remember seeing like Joe Rogan's old like Muay Thai stuff or whatever. Yeah, some people feel like that, but at the same time, it's like with that kick, it's like it feels obvious with how he landed on it. I don't really, because like you go back and watch the videos of him in the locker room, throwing those kicks. He was throwing that kick in the locker room and looking like he was landing on it fine. All right. Well, see, this is why we don't piss off Petros, because we know those kicks are coming. Yeah, no, I feel bad for how it went for UFC fans, for Conor McGregor, for Max Holloway. Max Holloway, obviously, he made a bag. He ain't happy. I mean, he ain't worried about it. He's just happy to get make another bag. It's very sad because it was such a good card, and when it comes to stuff like that, guys, losses like that when a UFC card or just any fight card can be determined no matter what, no matter the quality of the prelims, no matter the quality of the card or the quality of all the fighters on the card, it can all be determined by how that main event goes. And it happens all the times with boxing or with the UFC or whatever. It happens all the time where a main event has a tragic ending or it's spoiled for some reason, or whether it's a a horrible doctor stoppage, whatever it is, guys. It happens all the time, and it's it's very disappointing. It can ruin how a fight card ends up being remembered. Like, this was a great fight card, and that happened. Imagine if that happened in the White House card. It was 6 knockouts going into that main event. And if something would have happened in that main event, we would have been like, man, this card is horrible. Or like, it would have ruined the taste and the vibe no matter what. And that's my point, guys. It did, ruin the taste of the whole card and probably the card's memory for a while. That is disappointing. Yeah, I definitely don't want to piss off Petros, man. He's going to come out here and throw off the crazy kicks. But see, those kicks are going to, that's going to come in handy, though, when we're running the casino, bro, and we got to, bounce people, kick people out. We're running the Goonsville Casino. Yeah, guys. So we're if you any more conversation. By the way, guys, this next weekend we are doing our 24-hour stream. We're going to be reacting and doing our watch along in the moment to UFC Fight Night. Duplessis versus Usman, the Battle of Africa, South Africa versus Nigeria. Former middleweight champion Dricus Duplessis, versus Kamaru Usman, the former welterweight champion. Guys, so this will be a good fight. Big age difference. Kamaru is pushing 40, but I loved prime Kamaru Usman. The man was changing the game, and at lightweight, really setting the bar since guys like GSP and other guys. Not in 2025. See, because look, you can see it right here. Let me pull it up. When it comes to Kamaru Usman, guys. So this is his first fight in 2026 coming up. In 2025, he only fought once. He did beat Joaquin Buckley, so that's great. But he only fought once last year. The year before, he only fought twice. So my point is, you're seeing a drop off. That decision to Chimaev, guys, very close. A lot of people think that it could have went either way. I really thought that it might have at least would have been a lot closer, but I thought that for it to go to decision and how it went, there's a fair argument if you want to say maybe either guy could have pulled it off. It's just that's how the scorecards went in that one. But to put up that kind of fight against Chimaev is crazy. And then that year you also had his rematch with Leon Edwards, where Edwards pieced him up and won in decision. In 2022, you had him losing his belt to Leon Edwards by KO, that horrible head kick. So Usman has had a drop off in the amount of fights and his activity. And sometimes that can happen, but I mean he's coming off of a win, guys. But that was in June of last year. So he's had almost a whole year off still just in this time. And Dricus is a big fight. We'll see how this one goes. It's a very tight fight, and I'm not even picking on this one until we get a little closer, at least another day or two closer, because I need to watch some film and think about how I feel on that one. But it's going to be a fun fight card, guys. So next week, we're going to be checking this one out. You had Jared Cannonier coming back. People forget Cannonier's fought in like 4 different weight classes. The man's been everywhere. And he's at 42 years old, taking on a 30-year-old. That's going to be a big one. And again, this is one of those cases where is it going to be the old grizzled vet, who's been through beatings and been able to weather the storm and come back and pull off some spectacular wins like Cannonier? Or is it going to be one of those, young upcoming 14-2, the upcoming prospect, here in Christian Duncan? We'll see. Let's see. So he's coming off of a solid win streak too. All right, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4 fight win streak. So again, very similar to what we saw with St. Denis and Patty, guys. So absolutely. Hey man, you go get some sleep, man. I appreciate you, man. And we put on absolutely, man. Hey, we just appreciate you, man. Happy birthday again. And I'll get you, those clips out. Again, I sent you the pictures, so if you wanted to make your own edits, you can as well. But I'll say, I sent you those clips, those 2 clips. I'm going to send you one more clip. Absolutely, man. Long day, big things ahead. Absolutely, man. Goonsville's changing the game. Goonsville's doing stuff all the time. We'll make sure as Petros pops out, we'll pull up Goonsville real quick, and we'll check out something on here. What's your favorite thing on the website, Petros? Like right now, what is your favorite thing on the website that you would like to see someone check into or where? Oh yeah, Still Up Sports, absolutely. Absolutely, man. Absolutely, man. Opa. I'm guessing that means like one of the Greek collections, right? You're talking about one of those? Halloween hoodie, only because spooky season's coming. Absolutely. Guys, it's awesome. I love mine. That's one of my favorite hoodies. I like to rotate them. I rotate. I always keep one here in the studio, and then I got one on my hat hook right here, or on my like hoodie hook right here on my door, and then I got the rest in there. Sometimes I put them all together so I can just keep them all together so that they're not feeling lonely. But yeah, the Greek one too, absolutely. Halloween hoodie because spooky season. Greek one for sure, absolutely. It's all great. It's some of the cleanest merch out there. You would know. Yeah, there you go, guys. Go check it out. Greek Festival coming out. If you do come out with Trevor, man, we're gonna kill it. Bring pops if you can. We'll go hang out. The more the merrier, so we can get some pictures. For you, stuff that you can use. And if you do come out, that's the perfect time to use those videos I sent you to tease the Goonsville trip to Vegas. Hey man, you keep killing it, bro. I appreciate you. All right, guys. So we are jumping off of the UFC for a second, and we're going to get into a little discussion on Jonathan Cooper. Absolutely. So then, you can come out here and we can tear it up out here. And then when I come out there, we're going to tear it up, bro. I'm going to be hunting interviews and trying to meet everyone. Oh, yeah. Opa, we stay up. Absolutely. Hey, man, it's 2:35 in the morning, Mountain Time, guys. So thank you so much for popping in, Petros. Good night. Absolutely, man. All right, guys. So we're going to get into Jonathan Cooper because I was watching The Fan. So this is full credit to 104.3 The Fan, and credit to Mike Klis for breaking this while on his vacation. Absolutely, man. You have a wonderful night. Yeah, so Mike Klis, on his vacation was talking to The Fan, Philip Lindsay, and I'm trying to remember the other man on the mic. But Klis was talking to The Fan and saying that something we're not thinking about, guys, is the fact that Jonathan Cooper, when they upgraded these charges, that changed like the court date and stuff. So he may not even be seen this year. So there's a chance he either plays all year, the Broncos cut him, he could end up on the commissioner's exempt list. So many things can happen to Jonathan Cooper in this point now because if you're Denver, do you want him out there? Do you want him to come out there right now and be a part of that? I don't know. But that was something I noticed that I feel like no one's talked about. I saw that it got brought up on there, so obviously we gave them, their credit for breaking their news. But to hear Klis tell Philip Lindsay, on The Fan that Jonathan Cooper's case isn't even it's been delayed because of those new charges and stuff. So there's a chance that maybe he ends up on the field. Maybe he doesn't end up on the field. We don't know at this point. But I'm just curious what you guys think. If you're watching, after the fact or right now, let me know in the comments what you think about that. Because with Jonathan Cooper's charges, when they were upgraded, it delayed his trial, and anything can happen now. You could see him out there. You could see him get traded. You could see him get cut. You could see him on the commissioner's exempt list. Who knows what's going to happen with Jonathan Cooper now Me personally, I'm ready to make the move off of Cooper, guys. I'm ready to move off of Jonathan Cooper. I think it's too messy. I think it's too much of a distraction every day that he stays on this team. The longer that you just cut him, the longer that he's not your problem. He's just the news's problem at that point. He's not your problem at that point. So I just hate that this is even a discussion. But when it comes to Jonathan Cooper in this situation, guys, I think it's time to move off. I don't know what they do. You're gonna have to tell me what you think Jonathan Cooper does. I mean, what they do with Jonathan Cooper, because he is owed $10 million in guaranteed money, and I don't know if there's a way the Broncos can get out of paying that. If there's an arbitration thing you need to do, but it's something to keep an eye on. We need to keep paying attention to this Jonathan Cooper thing, even if we don't want to, because there's more and more going on with it. And we don't know if he's going to end up on this team. We don't know what's going to happen to him. So all we can do, guys, is just keep our eyes out and see what happens. But, I want to know what you guys want to happen with Cooper. Are you just ready to – maybe you could trade him. I know much props to David Talks Broncos for talking about, possibly trading Cooper to, the Giants, in a player-to-player trade to go get, I think it was Thibodeau or something. But great trade possibility, but it's a matter of who wants Jonathan Cooper, guys. I don't know, especially with this situation. But that's only a little bit of Jonathan Cooper news, guys. Sorry about that, guys. It's been a long day. This is my second show for the day. I was on Orange and Blue Network earlier, which is pretty cool. I made my first appearance. Yeah, until the NFL sets their penalty, we won't know how much I will have to pay them. Yeah, absolutely, Martin. But no, I think that it was kind of an under-discussed thing. People forgot that when the charges were upgraded, that meant a new court date and stuff. And I didn't even remember that until I was listening to the fan, and I heard Mike Klis tell Philip Lindsay that his case might not even be seen this year. It might be something that's seen early next year. So at this point, who knows what might happen with this man? But yeah, no, we'll have to wait and see. I'm happy to see you in here, Martin. I know I've seen you on other shows, and I'm just happy to see another Broncos fan, hanging out, talking ball. How's your night? I hope you're having a wonderful night. I ask everyone how their night's doing. I hope you're having a great night. It's been a busy day for me. Like I was saying earlier, I showed up on Orange and Blue Network. So I made my first appearance on another big-time Broncos program, which is just so cool. My first time actually going on a different show, so that was awesome. I'll pull it up here real quick. But yeah, guys, so we were on right here. We were on Broncos Bros earlier. It was so cool. We got to talk with George and Dak and Tim, and we even talked with Shai, Vargas. I got to go check out some of his stuff on TikTok. But yeah, we hung out on Orange and Blue Network. That was awesome. Again, I said it earlier, guys, I'm incredibly grateful for everyone in this process, from just the subscribers and the followers who are up late at night and are still wanting to talk about it, or, and it could be whether you're up for 5 minutes or you're up all late at night. The point is that there's a source out there late at night, and I'm doing my best to try to make it more common and more often, but it's just me, and I'm a rookie with all this stuff. That's why I took this as my red shirt off season. So I did not do a 53-man roster prediction, and I'm still not going to. And I did not do a mock draft. And that's just because those are things that would have slowed me down from focusing on the technology and producing and stuff. I had to do basic things, guys. And one other thing I will say while we're here is a quick Google search has his current deposition. Yeah, not much can come out of that, and so even though he has something scheduled for the 24th as well. So what Klis was saying is that even though it's scheduled for the 24th, there's a chance that something, and nothing comes out. It's a big nothing burger, like what you're saying. Nothing much can come from that hearing. There's a big chance nothing does come from that, and then we're just stuck waiting again. That's what I guess Klis was hinting on. I should have mentioned the deposition on the 24th. I should have mentioned that. Thank you for keeping me honest and keeping on me. I appreciate it. Yeah, I think we'll see how this all plays out. Time will tell, for sure. One other thing, guys, is soon we're gonna have a background that'll pop up behind that behind our screen, or we're gonna have something cool. It's being made right now. Can't wait to see when it's done. So that's gonna be exciting. So producing quality, graphics, stuff like that. We're always trying to get new things made or done for the channel, or we're always trying to get better. But yeah, we just talked UFC for the first hour. That was fun. It was a big fight card, so it was deserving of being talked about, especially because there's a lot of fighters and a lot of athletes that were also in attendance checking it out too. Yeah, guys. So what do you want done with Cooper, ideally, though? Martin, what would you like done with Cooper if you had the choice? Would you have cut him by now? Would you be seeking trade options? Because at this point, the legal situation, who knows what can happen? But while we wait, he could technically be on the field if they wanted him. So what would you be doing with Jonathan Cooper if you could? This is why I hope I can get like a call line or another a number that you guys can call in and leave questions or comments, or at least even like talk with me. That'd be so cool. That's something I want to do down the line. Many of us Bronco fans want us to wash our hands of Cooper. I'd like for us to see if we can help this guy get his life together, suspend him for 8 games with therapy, move on from there. No, I mean, I could understand. I can understand that position too. I would. I'm obviously in the camp of washing our hands of Cooper, but I will fully look at, I'm objectively looking at your, opinion. I understand the point. And if anything, maybe 8 isn't enough. Maybe if it were to be like 12 or something, and then, who knows, maybe it's just a whole season suspended off, but, he stays with the team, and then give him a year away, let him out of the public eye for a year, go to rehab, give him a year off, let him go to rehab, go to whatever he needs to, something to, get his body, mind right, whatever it is, not his body, but yeah, I think there's something to that discussion you got going there for sure. I don't know if 8 games is enough, but we've seen players get suspended for less, which is crazy throughout the league. So it's totally understandable, and a respectable position there. But yeah, guys. So one more shout out to Orange and Blue Network. I was on their show earlier. They're at 720 subs. If you're not subbed, go check them out. Yeah, actions have consequences. So if we move on from him, I'm okay with that. He's going to play in this league. Absolutely. This is not a guy that's, if the Broncos move on, is not getting another job. This guy is getting another job, probably from a contender, most likely too. So that's a great point right there, Martin. This is why I like it when you pop in, Martin. You're way smarter than me. This is why I like when you're here. Someone has to be, the adult in the room, and I love that you're here, Martin. But yeah, guys, go check out Orange and Blue. They're at 720. Go get them up 1 or 2 subs if you watch this after the fact. But they welcomed me on. That was my first time as a guest on someone else's show, so I was incredibly humbled, incredibly grateful to be on the airwaves and share the same screen with those guys, because they're just incredible. I look up to every one of these guys in Broncos media. There's so many of them, guys. We could go here and look at like my subscriptions. You can see them, whether it's David Talks Broncos Orange and Blue Network, Denver Trav, DMVR, Broncos Europe. We can keep going. You'd see all of them. Tom Grossi, there's so many of them. Mile High Monsters, Mile High Huddle. Let's see, there's Dak right there. Adam, my Broncos friend from Vegas. So many of them. Broncos Chat, Second Shift Sports, Marquee Sports Denver, Jose, amazing, DMVR super, diehard, Zach Stevens, all these people, they're awesome. I got nothing but love, and I admire all these people, whether they're just Bronco fans and they're in the chats like you, Martin. I admire you. I admire every person who talks Broncos, and we all just gravitate towards each other and look for this conversation. No matter when, where, how, or why, we're just trying to do it. And that's what makes me so happy to just do this and get to know you guys and get to, do shows with other people. No one would have thought we would be at the point where we're doing shows with other people. We've had people on our shows. It's been amazing. It's been a long day too. It's been a long day, and it's been amazing. But no, guys, I'm just incredibly grateful to be on this journey with you guys. Again, with Goonsville, to be here with Broncos country. Just for the late night sports fan, I'm grateful to be here. You see us at 107 on YouTube. You see us at 27 on TikTok. 120 on Instagram, and then you see us at right here at 109 on X. So it's just incredible to think that so many people could be paying attention and listening or checking us out, and just be like, wow, we're slowly on our way to normalizing late night sports talk. Eventually, we're going to snag guests live on air, and it's going to be fun. A few of those Orange and Blue guys expressed interest in coming on, so that'll be pretty cool. Great point. Great point. Great point. It was great until he wasn't. You have a great point there, Martin. And that's why, that's more of the whole greater discussion that we're all human. There's a lot of lenses to look at this stuff through and to dissect this stuff and look at it. But there's always something that we should always understand is there's a human element to all of this. There's a human involved in all of this, which means there's usually human emotions or feelings involved with this stuff too. So I absolutely agree with you. Again, this is why I like having you in here, because as soon as you show up, you're the smartest guy here. I mean, I may be here talking sports, but 90% of you fans are way smarter than me. I will guarantee it. I'm not trying to put myself down either. I just think that I'm in the middle of, I'm making the transition from casual fan to someone that takes this seriously. Just because I write notes and I do shows does not mean I know what I'm talking about. So, and having these extra people that bring up these extra points that make so much sense, or keep the chat rolling like you, Martin, it's awesome. So, great conversation, there. We had some great conversation with Petros earlier, talking about the UFC and, kicking all the time and stuff like that, and how like it's a staple to come out the round or stuff and, throw some crazy kicks. So, it's been fun. We have so many cool people that pop in and chat with us. It's awesome. But yeah, guys, so if you're watching after effect, my name's Cody Chapa. This is Still Up Sports. We just try to normalize late night sports talk. We talk Denver Broncos and all other sports too. So if you have your comments, questions, drop them in. If there's something you're curious about, let me know, and I'll offer my opinion. Let's spitball. Let's throw some things back and forth. I read all the comments. So if you comment after the fact, I read and I respond to every single comment. I on every post, every platform. Sometimes it might take me a day or two to get them because I'm behind, but I get to them. So I always respond to every comment or question or whatever. So feel free to comment, like, subscribe, everything. Your voice will be heard because I will make sure I read your comment or I pull it up live on screen if I have to. So, yeah, we're here to engage with you guys. We have one other topic that we'll probably start easing ourselves into right now. And we already just did our little shout out for our page in Goonsville and all that. All right, guys. So for our final topic, there's been so many cool things, so many cool movies and stuff out there. I'm a big nerd. I love comics and stuff. For our last two shows, we've been comparing Bronco players or personnel to superheroes. And, we came to the conclusion that Bo Nix is Superman. He's like the moral clarity, the moral compass, of this team. His only kryptonite is his health. But, that man is like our leader. He's the leader of the Justice League. He's our leader. Bo Nix is our Superman. These super seasons we've had with him have not been possible without him. Another one, talking about getting second chances. Terry Oliver is facing charges that could have him serving 20 years. Absolutely. And being represented by the same lawyer, too. People, so that's why that's interesting to watch how that plays out, because you got the same lawyer involved with the cases, too. So we'll see how this all plays out for sure. But yeah, guys, so and then in one of our last episodes, we compared Sean Payton and Davis Webb to Bruce Wayne and Terry McGinnis. Both of them are Batman, but Sean's just getting a little older, getting a little more conservative, or maybe losing a little of the edge with the play calling in his mind, just not too trusting of himself to get it done. So he passes the reins on to someone else, and Sean has all the resources, anything to help Davis. So that just makes this feel more like Terry McGinnis and Bruce Wayne with Sean Payton and Davis Webb. That's just the vibe I get from him, is because Davis is the new hot young play caller that's inexperienced but does the job differently, but still going to be able to do it the way it needs to be done. That's the vibe I got from them. And so with Pat Surtain, I got the vibe that he's Spider-Man. And I think it's because Pat Surtain has a spidey sense out on the field, and it's just because of his pure instinct. And like he just, his positioning, he knows how to be there. He's sticky. Like Spiderwebs, he is just so sticky. He's still young and still going to keep growing. We got many more years of Pat's prime coming for us, guys. So I think that's a very fun discussion. If you want to throw out your opinion, who is Pat's superhero comp in your opinion? I really like the idea of Spider-Man, just because he's young and can only keep getting better still. And I think still there's a chance maybe we still haven't seen Pat's best ball. Maybe he wins another DPOY in his in his career. I'm not saying he does, but who knows if he has a chance to. That'd be insane. I mean, last year he had an incredible year and he was banged up. So, he had a great year still. But I just think he's sticky like a spider web. I think he's got a spidey sense. He's so instinctive. He sticks to you like glue because he knows how to position his body and put himself where he needs to be. He's been playing corner since he was young. I mean, Spider-Man doesn't necessarily start young, but he starts as a teenager still. I just think there's some familiar there. If you want to just go off of the stickiness, the instincts, the spidey sense, I think that's Pat Surtain. So I like to throw that in there, add a little bit of fun to it, just for a second. It's the off season, so we're nerds, so why not compare Pat to a superhero, just like we compared the other ones to superheroes too. I just think it's fun. So I think Pat's your Spider-Man on this team, guys. I mean, if you tell me you can have Spider-Man playing corner on your team, I would do it in a heartbeat. Because how is a receiver expected to catch a ball on a man with senses like that and instincts like that? That's just the vibe I get there, guys, with Pat Surtain. Yeah, guys. So one thing I want you to know is, like I said, some of those guys may have expressed interest in coming on late at night. We're going to be getting people on late at night no matter what. And what I mean by that is if these people can't come on at night, I'll just ask them if they can pop on and we'll record something. And then I can just air it. And then it just gives me content to air on the stream. So that's going to be something that we're going to probably do. Because we're up at least at times during the day still. Just because we're up till 4 or 5 in the morning Mountain Time does not mean that we're not up at one point during the day still. So we can be up during certain hours during the day if we need to snag a recorded, like a previously recorded interview that we can air on stream. We will do that. So some of these people, you know, even though they may not make it on stream late at night, they're still going to make it because we'll record this stuff prior if we have to. So it'll be pretty cool, guys. Oh, by the way, guys, we're going to talk about Pat Surtain and the year that I think he's in for. I think he's going to be contending for DPOY. Do I think he's going to get it? No. I think it's probably going to be a pass rusher, probably. But I think he's going to have another type year where he's right up there in the conversation. I think that's what we can expect for the next 4 or 5 years from Pat, is being in that conversation. I think he's that good. I mean, I like to throw out the hypothetical of like after Pat's played like 10 plus years for the Broncos at corner, maybe he can then switch to, you know, safety like Kareem Jackson and just play a few more years. That'd just be incredible because he has the instincts. Even if he were to slow down a little bit, I think Pat would make an amazing corner. I mean, an amazing safety if eventually he was just like told to bulk up a little bit and just go back there and, you know, center field it. I think he can make it work. You put Pat out there, you know, as a safety, you know, and you got elite corners outside, you know, somehow, I think it would look great. It's just a little hypothetical, guys, to think about because, you know, Kareem Jackson made that switch later on in life. He started out as a corner and then made the switch to safety and was decently good at both of them. I mean, he was a Pro Bowler and an All-Pro, I think, at safety for the Texans. He was good. I loved K-Jack. K-Jack TV is something I miss so much from the Broncos, guys. I miss K-Jack TV. I agree with Mike. I agree with that completely. It's going to be expensive. What do I think of his value? I wish I had the other recent quarterback signings recently. Let me see. All right. Let's see. So Patrick Mahomes. Oh my gosh. 64 million a year. Matthew Stafford, 55 million a year. Oh my gosh. Stafford's a 1-year deal, so maybe that's a little different. Oh man, it's going to be big. Oh, I don't want to think about it, but I think that it's cheaper if it's earlier. So I understand why Mike would want to get it done earlier because it probably is cheaper to get it done 1 year prior. Just trying to think of the numbers is silly. I would like to think. I just hope that he isn't gonna just like bankrupt the Broncos. The man, hopefully, he has the self-awareness to know that he's got to take care of the team around him still, like Brady did. Not saying he has to do the Brady method at first, but you know what I mean. I mean, at least not too much. 40, 50 million a year or something like that, right? I think he's deserving of 40 million a year. What do you think? 45 million a year, 50. I mean, it keeps going up, and then the cap keeps going up too. So it's hard to think what his value will be other than it's going to be a lot, right? Do you have a number? Because I'm trying to think of numbers, and I would love if we can get away with paying him 40 million a year. Do I think we'll get to do that? Probably not. Probably like 45, 50 million still, just because, let's see, Pat is with an average value of like 64 million a year is what it's saying for Pat online on Google. And that's cool that you were on with Mike. That's awesome. Mike's awesome. What other teams might be interested in next? No, I don't think they value him more than we do. I think that the Broncos value him more than any other team would still, just because we know him better and we know his tendencies. Do I think other teams could afford to pay him more? You've seen some horrible teams in the NFL at times with the deepest pockets ever pay some of the best players ever just because they can afford it. But up to 55 million. See, I think ideally, if you can get him in the 40s, that's a steal, right? Like as low 40s as possible. That's like sounds like a crazy steal, right? If you get him for 44, 42, 45, that sounds amazing. Do I think it's going to push 50? Probably. 55? Possibly. Yeah. I think it's cheaper by going a year early for sure. And then I also think that, one, locking him up early is great because you can get an extra year. Maybe, if anything, I don't think he's going to give us a discount too much in the value, but maybe he gives us a break in terms of like the years. But then again, maybe we'll see what those years matter, because maybe he throws on an extra year or two instead of, has something to make us feel, or at least make the Broncos feel like they want a little bit more of that. I don't know. Again, I ideally would love mid 40s. Mid 40s would be just a steal for Bo Nix, but 55 is pretty accurate for what is. I think other teams could pay him 55 million a year, but I think I don't think we let him leave. I don't think that's ever a discussion. I hope it's not. If that's a discussion, I'm going to be pulling my hair out that we're letting it get that close. So we should never let it get that close. Yeah, guys, if you're joining me right now, it is 3:05 a.m. Mountain Time. Thank you for hanging around and being still up with us, guys. Thank you for being still up. Yep, you can see it right there. My name's Cody Chapa, with Still Up Sports. Other teams that might be interested too, let me answer that one. Well, who's got the most money available? Let's see. Most cap available in these next 2 years or so. I mean, do you think they're going to just play this year by year, eventually franchise them and stuff? That would be messy, of course. I think franchise tagging is the dumbest thing ever. I understand why it exists, but I also think it's just, a bullshit way to hold players hostage. I think that it's just stupid. Just pay the guy or let him leave. Don't let it get that far. I think franchise tags are stupid sometimes, unless it's like a tag and sign or a tag and trade, then sometimes that's, I guess. But I prefer that the franchise tag never be invoked as often as it is, because teams should know how to run effectively and sign or not sign these guys. Instead, they do these things and they teeter-totter, and then they force themselves in these rushed-in decisions of signing, making these things happen sometimes. I just wish NFL franchises would not always rely on the franchise tag and just sometimes sign guys. But I understand the need for it too. There's a reason why it exists. Other teams. No, I mean, in terms of money, I'm not sure off the top of my head, but if I think about teams that could use a Bo Nix, like Kevin O'Connell and the Vikings could use him. Imagine if Bo Nix. No, I hate this discussion already, talking about Bo Nix leaving, but imagine, because I'm not high on the Vikings this year. I think that everyone thinks he's going to run it back and have another great year, and he's going to do it with Kyler this year. I think that it's not going to happen. I think Kyler's not going to have the year that people think. But I think that Bo Nix could kill it with Justin Jefferson and with Kevin O'Connell. So that would be an interesting fit. Do I think the money works, or do I know how the paperwork works for that? No, I don't know how the paperwork fits for that, guys. See, this is why I love when you come in, Martin. You bring such great conversation, man. Again, thank you for popping in, Martin. I hope you understand that I appreciate when I see you in here. I appreciate seeing you all, but I love when people bring these discussions and really get me thinking. But yeah, no, hopefully 45. I would love to pay $45 million a year for Bo Nix. That'd be an easily a steal. To get him for 10 or 20 million less a year than Pat Mahomes is a good year, because the Chiefs are going to be paying more and more to him. And knowing how Sean is and this team is, like, how much do we expect them to push Cap back? I mean, we've seen him do it before on some of these deals. Do you think we're going to see him just do something and front load it, or push a bunch back or something? I don't know. That should be something I should just lock in and just focus on for a whole weekend. Is just studying Cap and stuff like that. No, I know he's been successful with far less talent, and he's in a great position to have his best year of his career in Minnesota. I'm just also not so, a lot of people are thinking that, they're not leaning into, when it comes to this whole Murray, Minnesota discussion, they're not leaning into Murray's going to be great. They're leaning into McConnell's going to make Murray great. And I just think that maybe this is the year that McConnell doesn't make something happen out of nothing like he's done with other QBs before. Can I be proven wrong? Probably and absolutely. Yeah. No, that's the thing. And can Kevin O'Connell fix that out? Maybe. Can he, iron that out of him? Maybe he can, but maybe he can't. And that's something that we'll have to wait and see on. It's a great watch to see how it plays out no matter what. To see how this plays out with Kyler and with Kevin O'Connell, it's going to be exciting no matter what. I'm just not so confident going into it. But again, I'm very much curious, so we'll see how it plays out. Because it's a good situation if Kyler can really lock in. You have one of the best receivers in the game. There's some things that he can really make happen there. I've always loved Kyler's athletic ability. I loved him coming out of college. I thought people were dunking on him with the height coming out of college, and I hated it. I was like, no, man, this guy is a gamer, and he is a gamer when he's in his zone. I mean, he is a gamer too because of the playing the Call of Duty and the Madden and all that. But he's a gamer on the field too. Kind of like how now Bo Nix and Baker Mayfield at times get compared to each other a little bit, but I think it's similar too in the sense of he's a gamer. They're gamers too. When the action's happening in front of them, they can make things happen, and Kyler can do that. I just think that it's the normal stuff for Kyler that's different. Another great watch is Atlanta, Tua and Penix. That's going to be a good one. That's a good battle. Who do you think wins that battle? Tua or Penix? I mean, obviously, they paid Tua, right? So you would assume Tua is going to be the starter, or I have not paid attention to Atlanta. I'm happy for, I love the running back. Love the running back situation there. Kyle Pitts is good. But his stats depend on how one of these two QBs play. I'd love your take on which QB you like out of Penix or Tua, because Penix needs to be healthy, just like Tua. It's just with Tua, I genuinely worry for his health. I hate being in that camp of talking about his health all the time. But, it's like with Pat Bryant, we've already seen 2 concussions. I don't like seeing guys get their heads hurt. It's not cool. They're finding CET. The most recent case study for CTE they found in a 15-year-old. So it's just insane. That's the youngest case of CTE so far is at 15. It's insane. I mean, I like the possibility of what can happen with that team. And with Atlanta, they have great running game, quick passes. Maybe try to recreate Miami, basically, in Atlanta. Yeah. That's if he can stay healthy, though. And a lot of us, I don't hope for that. I just hope that he stays healthy. Anytime a player gets banged up from a nasty headshot or something, it always makes me stress out. I don't stress as much when I see a guy go down and like get up with like, oh, like his wrist is hurting or his legs hurting or stuff. I mean, unless it's super, super serious. And you can tell this is all circumstantial when it happens. But some of that stuff does not scare me when I see a guy go down and then hobble off to the sideline. But when I see a guy like go up, catch a ball, or go up in the air and land hard on his head and just spring back up, or just even lay there for a second, no matter what, it's terrifying when I see the impact to the ground every time. And that's something I pay attention to when it comes to like watching edges or defensive ends or D linemen coming off of and getting QBs. I just look at like the head impacted on the ground when these QBs go to the ground. And they do a lot to protect the quarterback, but falling to the ground is still going to give you, CTE. So it was just, there's so much. Like, I just wish we could make every NFL player healthy for every season, just so we could see how it played out with no injuries in a whole season. Just like, imagine if we can go into Roger Goodell's office, go into the little, settings, like it's Madden, and turn off player injury. Just imagine if we could do that for 1 year. That would be insane. Truly the best of the best win. That'd be crazy. Oh, how the Chargers for so many years would have loved to have that happen. Speaking of CTE, we see erratic behavior from these players, and I have to ask how much of this is absolutely. I don't know what the path is with CTE and what we can do as sports fans, as sports organizations, as players. I don't know what we all can do to maybe the plan is to be more careful with some of this physical contact. Maybe take out some of the physical contact at younger ages and make it just in high school, or just push it back a little later. Maybe that helps a little. The only thing we can keep hoping for is more studying in the science and the gear getting better, and then maybe studying the brain better. I mean, we can only do so much to change the game, no matter what. Which means it's going to be there forever. There's CTE in MMA fighters and boxers, of course. All act erratic at times and do some crazy things. I'm trying to remember the NFL player who had a CTE, like kind of a blackout a few years ago, and he threw himself through like a window at a business. It was like not like through a window to a fall, but just like on like the first floor, he ran through a window or something. And he didn't remember. And so you see guys have blackouts and stuff. It's scary. I don't know what much more the league can do other than, no matter what, I want to see the league keep investing in it, of course. And they better not stop. They better keep investing money into taking care of their players. You see them doing it with like with the Guardian caps. I hope that Pat Bryant's wearing a Guardian cap at all times, because I don't want to see him without it. Especially because he said that the second time, he said he wasn't unconscious, but he was clearly unconscious. And that's the CTE right there. You see MMA fighters, talk about how the fight's going, and then they say, but then they forget how this went, and then they woke up. And that's how it is when you get knocked out or when you have that stuff happen. So that kind of brain damage. It's I hope that money keeps getting put into it. I wish that maybe some better thinking goes into it. If I had it my way, kids would be playing flag football up until sophomore year in high school. No freshman football teams playing tackle. Still should be flag. And then I would go sophomore, junior, seniors, I guess, can play tackle. But again, better tackling. You can teach better tackling. So many things you can do in the game to make CT a little more manageable, but you're not going to be able to tame the crisis. But I hope that they never stop trying to, of course. I think about so many, former players, former athletes that have, been in these situations, and they're all amazing human beings, and it ruins their lives at times and their behavior. Like, you can't deny Antonio Brown. We were talking about his, how he acted. He took some nasty shots when he was in the league. I mean, he took some nasty shots in college, I believe. So, some of these things are pretty bad. We have to be careful with Brian. I was very angry with Dable and how he handled Jackson Dart. Absolutely. Leaving in the game and yelling to get exactly. And this is why if it's something that the league needs to crack down on, and they need to have people watching these coaches to make sure they don't do something shady, so be it. I don't care. Maybe it's former coaches can watch these other coaches, make sure that they're doing it right. I don't know. Because that's a horrible thing that he did with it. And Dart's problem is that Dart loves the contact. Like we were talking on Orange and Blue on Broncos Bros, we were talking about how Jaden Daniels is also banged up like Jackson Dart is, but Daniels tries to juke you out or spin you out, or do something like that. Whereas Dart, he seeks out the linebackers and tries to run them over. And it's that playing with Cam Scatterboom mentality. But no, we have to be careful with Bryant. Absolutely. Sometimes you have to protect players from themselves. And in some cases, you have to protect players from their coaches and themselves, because Dart had no problem going back out. And that's because Dart don't care. Maybe that's the competitor in him still. Maybe it's just the general quarterback of him to not leave his team out there without him. But when that stuff's happened, there needs to be some accountability. Yeah, maybe I think he's better on his feet and more mobile than Nix. He's he's a legitimate threat on the ground. He could be better than Nix. I think Nix is better than him right now. But do I think he's gonna be better than Nix? No, and I think it's because of his style of play. Between his style of play, he's gonna get real banged up. We've seen quarterbacks bigger than him, seek out contact and run guys over, and they still get banged up. Cam Newton. Everyone wants to talk about like how great Cam Newton of a runner he was, but they forget that the man was getting banged up often, and he was just showing up and still doing it. But that man was always hurt. He was always dealing with something that was lingering or hurting him or bugging him. And Dart's going to put himself in that position. Big Ben, while he was not a scrambler, Big Ben was a guy that at times, he was big and hard. He would shrug off tacklers at times and stuff, and that man at times was not afraid of contact. Big Ben's different in that case, but I think you get the point of what I'm saying there. Yeah, these players need to be protected from themselves and from their coaches. All right, we're going to go for another 10 minutes here, guys, and we're going to pop off for the night. We're planning for our Thursday show, and then we're going to go into the weekend with our 24-hour show. We're going to try to line up some cool guests. Maybe I can get Mike back on. Mike will probably pop back on. Mike showed up for both 24-hour streams. So I bet you we get Mike on again. So we'll get Mike on. We'll see if we can get some of these orange and blue guys to pop on during the 24-hour stream. We will also we'll get some other guys. We'll tweet at some people and DM some people. We'll see if there's some guests we could pop on. If there's a guest you want me to get to pop on, guys, let me know. Drop it in the comments in the chat right now or after the fact, who you want me to tweet or send a DM to, and see if we can get them on the show. We haven't had a big. I mean, we've had people on the 24-hour streams, but we've technically have not had a late night guest yet. So it would be very cool to have a late night guest. I mean, we did have Jay on during the 24-hour stream when we went over 100, and that was around late night time. But that was a 24-hour stream, not a proper late night show. So I would love to have a proper late night guest. You can see the kitty. Look, guys, this is my son. This is my son. Look, he wants to talk to you guys. Are you into fantasy football? Maybe future shows could have segments speaking about that. No. I have never done fantasy football, but Slanted Uptown Sports on Instagram invited me to be a part of their league. And I said, yeah, so I'm going to sign up probably tonight or tomorrow, and we'll go from there. I'll give it a good old-fashioned crack. We'll talk about fantasy points and stuff like that probably. I'm very much new to it, so it would be great for me to learn. Again, this whole channel has, in these early phases of this channel, is all about like growing together and growing on air with you guys. So, I'll grow with it for sure. It sounds fun. I mean, I've seen it and know how it works to an extent. I've just never done it. So I would love to do it. So yeah, I'm going to be getting into it and doing it with Slanted Uptown Sports on Instagram. Let's see. Trying to find. No. Yeah, so Slanted Uptown. That's who I'm going to be doing a fantasy league with. I've been quoted a few times. We've done some quotes and stuff for Slanted Uptown, talking about like Bronco players. Good, you won't regret it. Yeah, I hope so. Sounds fun. I said I'd never do it. Now I've been playing since 2007. Hey, now I might get hooked. Is it the first step to sports betting? Because there's some people I know that they got it down to a T, just the right bets, and you're winning every time. But yeah, if you're on Instagram, go check out Slanted Uptown. They do some cool stuff. She's awesome. All right, guys. As we're getting about to wrap up, we're going to go do this one last time, all right? Go check out Goonsville. Go support Petros. It was his birthday. See, I live in Vegas, and I don't bet either, so much respect to you there. I would bet maybe occasionally on like maybe a game if I knew what if I was comfortable doing it. I just am not like a comfortable like gambler. It doesn't feel like it doesn't come off easy for me, or doesn't come off nonchalant or normal for me. But yeah, guys, go support Goonsville. Go support Petros. It was his birthday. He's gonna try to come out here for the Greek festival, and if he does, we're gonna kill it. We're gonna have some fun times. We're gonna take over the town, and next thing you know, we're gonna build a Goonsville casino right where the Bellagio is. We'll tear the Bellagio down and we'll build the Goonsville Casino. But yeah, guys, so go check out Goonsville. Go show some love. Tell them that Cody sent you. He has 10% on the website right here. So you can see it right here, 10% off on the website. I would totally suggest go checking that out. Besides that, guys, he's got some amazing, outfits out on there, so just go check them out. And then besides that, guys, we are on X, or Twitter, however you prefer it. We're on X, and we are also on YouTube. We're at 107. We're trying to hit 109, 108, 109. Hopefully, would love to be at 1010 before our weekend stream, guys. If we can hit 1010 before the weekend, that would be big, because then on our weekend stream, we can set a goal of like 125 in that 24 hours. So that way we only have like 15 to chase. So, because we're trying to really grow. And, if we go back in this chat, it sounds like Trevor thinks we can do it in 500. Sounds like Trevor thinks that we can do, 500 subs before the season starts. Let's see. Right. Where is it? There we go. Yep, 500 subs by game 1. I believe. Do you believe, guys? Let's push for it, guys. Let's keep at it. We're gonna stay ambitious no matter what. And even if we can go up 1 or 2 a week, that's all we care about. Is that means one more person is listening to Late Night Sports Talk. So yeah, go check us out on YouTube as well. We're on Instagram, guys. So check us out on Instagram and on TikTok. So we're on 4 different platforms right now. Down the line, we'll maybe create a Patreon. Down the line, we'll probably create a Twitch for our gaming content, because we do want to do, play Madden, play college football, all that stuff. That's all stuff we want to do down the line. But, we sold our PlayStation and our Xbox to buy our mics and to buy our boom. So, we made sacrifices for the channel. Down the line, the channel will get better. We'll have time to put sacrifices and things into ourselves and doing stuff that we think would be cool. Like maybe in the off season or on dead periods, play some Madden with people or something. Anything like that would be fun. So, but yeah, so we believe we're trying to get there. Go hit that like, subscribe button if you're watching right now after the fact. It means the world to me, guys. Because like here again, you see us sitting at 107. We can go up there. We can get to 1010. Hopefully this night, within the week. If we can hit 1010 this week, that'd be cool, because we're gonna try to push for 125. We're chasing 125 right now. At least by the end of our 24-hour stream this weekend. And then the following weekend, we're going to be chasing 150, hopefully. So that's our goal, is to keep going up 25 or so every once in a while. So let's get at it, guys. Let's keep normalizing late night sport talk. And, let's just keep getting people familiar with what we do here at Still Up Sports, guys. All right, guys. I just want to say thank you so much for popping in here with me. You guys are legends. I wouldn't be here without you guys just stepping in here, supporting me, helping Still Up Sports grow one sub at a time, one follower at a time, one discussion at a time, guys. You guys bring so many great discussions. Martin, you're amazing. I appreciate you, Martin. You're a legend. Thank you so much, just for doing that. Everyone has been so supportive in any way they can, and you doing that, that's awesome. Broncos Chat on Instagram, like, he didn't have a YouTube. He created one just to subscribe, so he was amazing. I appreciate you subscribing with both your accounts. It just means the world. I know I got Dax subscribed, and then I know Orange and Blue subscribed. So, I got multiple people everyone's trying to do their best to help me out, and I'm doing what I can for others. My platform is open and available to every other Broncos creator, every other sports creator, anyone who wants to come up and, make yourself available to the late night crowd, and I will gladly be a platform and a resource for you guys. Broncos country has been nothing but supportive of me, and so has Broncos media. Everyone has been so kind and supportive. It has never been competitive or felt competitive. It's always felt helpful and encouraging, and I'm just so incredibly blessed. The more and more I do this every day, I start to feel a part of this and feel like I belong. we're going to get taken seriously, and we're going to be seen, as someone that's changing the game, starting in our tiny little, apartment bedroom that is like 80% podcast studio now. From here to my spot right there where I now film shorts. If you've checked out my shorts, you know that I got, a spot right here with the DT jersey, and then, the Broncos flag and the Broncos pillow. I got a seat right there that I like to film shorts at. Gonna film. I have not made any official videos yet. I'm working on that. There's a lot of stuff for me to keep getting better at. We're gonna learn something new each week, guys. We don't rush into this. We don't rush growth. We just, take step towards that. We take steps towards that growth every day. We're just on our way, and we're gonna keep going. You see the cat right here with me. You can barely see him. He's hiding his face, but he's napping right here on me. Thank you guys so much. I hope you guys have a wonderful night. It is 3:32 a.m. Mountain Time. Sometimes we go much longer than this. Sometimes we don't. I think we'll cut it off right here. It's about 2 hours and 3-4 minutes in. It's a good time to cut it because we're going to prep for our Thursday episode, as well as we really want to have a star-studded amount of guests on the weekend show. So we're going to put some effort into lining up some big guests. And again, if you got a guest that you want me to go after, I will go bug them, and I will say that you told me to bug them, and say that the fans want it. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Martin, for being here, bringing so much great discussion. You're very awesome. I may be new to this, but when I get questions that are so articulate and get you thinking like what you bring, you're awesome. It really keeps me on my toes. So thank you so much, man. Just grateful to have you hanging around, and grateful to be normalizing late night sports talk with you guys. You guys are awesome. Again, one last time, go like, subscribe, and comment. Help us out, guys. Let's hit 1010 this week so we can really make that final push and for 125 this weekend on that 24 hours. Well, guys, until next time, I just want you to know that I hope you have a wonderful Monday. Not a Monday. It's not a Monday, is it? No, it's a Tuesday morning, guys. Have a wonderful Tuesday morning. Go kill the day. Go, own your craft. Go get some rest. Just go be you and have a great day, guys. Thank you so much. Have a great night, guys. I'll see ya.